Okay, a couple of loose ends to deal with before we enter the great unknown of the Premier League. First off, Bone is now named Fire. I've been offering the chance to name a youth player to anyone who wants it for a while now, but I haven't had any takers, so I decided to end up giving the person who named Draco a second name. We also have upgrades to consider, and I'm frustratingly $1,000 short of being able to afford both of these at once. With our youth pool coming up, I will take the Youth Academy upgrade now, and the stadium will come very soon. And we also have a glory upgrade, so I'm going to sign a better forwards coach. Yes, we've managed to reach the Premier League without winning diddly squat all playthrough. With that should come a market increase in fans and the amount of money we can get each game. Yeah, we're up to 3,000 already. But I think it's going to be tough for us to compete for much this season. I think we just got to focus on survival, get our team up and running so that we can actually contest for trophies next season. So, conservative sponsor target. Okay, that's a good pickup from the Youth Academy. Right back right away. 52 defense. The only drawback is that it doesn't have my pet like at the position known as slide tackle. Given that we like to have reaction in the center instead, we should take long pass, even though it's going to take a long time to train. I don't want to sell anyone, actually. We can't renew Bag. We can renew Snedden. That's an easy extension. We can't renew Challenger either, so he's gone at the end of this transfer window. It's a difficult decision to make because level 3 long pass is potent, but I get the feeling we should in fact sell Stardy Fant because I've only got 1 assist out of him all career. I'd like to free up some funds so I can get the stadium upgrade sooner. And also it'll drop us back down to 18 players once Challenger has his retirement. This is going to end super well. An entire season of going up against big numbers awaits us. All I can do is hope the RNG gives us a chance. So I discovered after the fact that my audio balance was way off, the game volume was too high, and I have to post-com all of these matches. Southampton very potent on offense, but so were we. Binns levels the scoring after we give up a quick goal, and after we get lucky to see off the corner offense from Southampton, we're able to put Challenger in on a run. He rainbow feints all the way, and I take the lead, fulfilling a lifelong dream in the process of Challenger scoring in the Premier League. However, it was Binns who would be the true star of this game. We kept on going back to the head play, and he kept on scoring off of it. Eventually, he would pick up a hat-trick in this game, and even though Southampton were potent on offense themselves, I was ultimately able to hang on and score a somewhat unexpected victory very early on in the Premier League campaign. And if we get more results like that, our glory will rocket up in no time. And the president was content with just staying in First League, so naturally he's delighted that we are in the Premier League. Things are not going to get easier from here though. Arsenal are 5 stars. Liverpool, I think, are going to be 5 stars. I believe this will be a much cagier affair than Southampton though. Not as many offensive threats for Arsenal, but they're a lot better suited to defend against the header that Binns was burning Southampton on. My prediction of a cagier game turned out to be true. Arsenal had a head play defender in exactly the right spot. Binns could not replicate his performance against Southampton or even challenge Mana most of the time. So instead, I'll talk about our stadium. Have you ever seen a Premier League game played in such a small stadium? Oh, it will be fixed all too soon. But first, we've got to deal with Arsenal. I thought they might be able to score on sheer stats because Southampton did it, but they were unable to do so, and deep in the second half, it's still looking like a deadlock between the two sides. But then a corner unsettles Arsenal's formation just enough to give Challenger the opening he needs to rainbow feint without being troubled by the centre-backs and score his second goal in 2 games. And when Wood misses this slide tackle late in the contest, that virtually seals our victory, as we're able to put the ball somewhere where Arsenal cannot work it back to goal. 2 wins in 2 games. I'm happy with this now. We'll go to Champions League next season. Oh wait, we've got to play the other 32 games. But we will be able to do it in a bigger stadium because that was a home victory and that's our sponsor goal. Beating Arsenal gave us so much glory that we can also hire a midfielder coach. This is going to snowball out of control if we keep winning. Next up, goalkeeper coach, then bench coach. Wow, they've lost both of their games so far. Back 6? Really? Are they that scared of the mighty level 38 Challenger? But even with a 6-man blockade, Liverpool still have plenty of ways to challenge us offensively, especially if they pull their fullbacks into the attack like I often do with my own fullbacks. Tail of the tape in this game is similar to the last 2. Big block of stats, but stats don't necessarily get you goals, as we've seen time and time again in this playthrough. What can get you goals is a centre forward with level 3 head play, and that's how we concede. I do get that goal right back with Bins, but that just gives Hughes a chance to flex his accuracy, and we go 2-1 down. With me unable to replicate the heroics of the kickoff we got after going 1-0 down. Try as I might, I could not level the scoring again. The most interesting thing that happened in the second half was Liverpool playing to an offside player on purpose. I have no idea why this happened. Did the AI think that there was literally no better option in this situation and decided to just give the ball back? In any case, it didn't help me, and we lose our first game of the campaign. Had to happen at some point. Of course, the idea of being due a result is a logical fallacy, much like the argument of if a coin lands heads 10 times, what's the chances it'll land heads again? Of course, it's 50-50 because the coin doesn't memorize any of that. In any case, we move on to Brighton and have a much brighter start, as despite Cuff being a brick wall against the header on paper, Binns is able to get one past him. That goal may have been a fluke, but Jerd's most certainly wasn't, as Brighton only playing a back 4 opens up a cannon lane for Jerd for the 2-0 score. Actually, make that 3-0, Jerd picking up a brace after being left off the score sheets for the first 3 rounds. Brighton is able to halt our momentum with a counter goal, and that gives me a chance to talk about the stadium upgrade, because for the first time in the playthrough we can say we actually do own a stadium as opposed to a pitch with some seats nearby. Second half was a lot more boring than the first half. I couldn't open up a cannoning lane for Jerd or set up Challenger, but then again, the pressure was not on me to score, and when the game is like that, you play differently, you play more defensively. 3-1 was more than good enough for us. I mean, winning is all that matters in the end. And that's earned Fellows his 9th specialisation level. Not that he needs any more specialisations, he's been good at getting +3 defence each time anyway, but I might as well complete this tree just to get the extra 5 levels. And we have a new DM to take Bag's place permanently once age catches up to Bag. Why are we always going to play the big clubs in the hot sun? Manchester City, they're top of the table. Not that it really matters yet. We're only 4 rounds in. We're also going to run into this GK combination a lot more at this level. Strong goalkeeper and reaction. Annoyingly, right now, the perfect combination to beat Jerd. But by the end of this season, Jerd will have level 3 in both Cannon Shot and Rainbow Feint, meaning very few goalkeepers will be able to smother him completely. In the meantime, though, this game is another one for Binns. Keep an eye out on Liberato for Manchester City in this game. He's going to be both their go-to guy on kickoffs and their ball winner, so he's going to get very tired very quickly. Meanwhile, Challenger and Binns finds themselves in the right place and the right time to try something, and despite having low passing, it's the rare forward line assist with Binns picking up the goal. Only for Liberato to equalise right away despite being tired. Later on in the game, I commit a clanger, forgetting that Liberato's level 3 slide is still effective when tired, and he passes it to Padaved for the 2-1 score to City. With that in mind, I don't think I deserved a result in this one, but that is what I would ultimately get, as I am able to make something of this last play. The keeper low rolls, Binns gets a brace, and we escape with a 2-2 draw. Oh, 1 point short with Stearman. We do get Liddell's level up. And now that we're in the Premier League, I think I want to get my skills up as quickly as possible. Still don't have the second skill on Liddell. Let's make sure that comes by quickly. Wait, didn't we just play this guy? He's haunting us wherever we go. Oh no! And he really is supernatural. He somehow managed to get back to near full energy after that last game where we specifically saw him get dirt tired. This matchup is perfect for Jerd, so I put him in the box early on, but actually reaching him with a pass is easier said than done. In the end, I have to try with Challenger instead, and he doesn't have the angle to get all the way to the goalkeeper here, so no going. Then our old rival Liberato scores for the second time in 2 games. Our going isn't helped by Wilshere, who has level 3 nutmeg all the way from the midfield to the goalkeeper. I probably should have countered this by moving with that MF to an AM position, which also would have helped me pass to Jerd. But hindsight is 2020, not foresight. With the game more or less lost, I decided to sub on some lesser used players, including Davenport, who is going to become more vital to our plans once Challenger retires, as I will otherwise be pretty thin on reserve ranks in the forward line. But today it's a 2-0 loss to Everton. Some better news on the specialisation front though. Shearer gets to level 5. It's only 4 months away from that. We are going to be playing a lot of games though. And when I think about it, not that many. We're only guaranteed 13 games between now and the winter break. I think I will open up the 3rd level of skill. But the bigger news is that Stearman is going to become an extra CD for us. Head play will give us a defensive option at the corner. Although the AI often go the low cross for the corner anyway, so when it comes to raw stats, this might be one of the few times this season we have a reprieve, as Stoke City are only 2 of 3.5 stars. This might be an emotional game for me because this is the last time Challenger's ever going to play for us. If that's the case, we better make this a match to remember for what was the first reliable scorer we had on this team before Jerd became really good and Binns came through later. I'm trying the hit and hope tactic with Challenger, which actually worked a lot in Amateur League, but these are professionals. We do get a corner out of it, and I would normally sub Challenger off at this point, but I actually subbed Bag off because it's Challenger's testimonial and put Jerd in the DM spot. Couldn't make anything of it in the first half, however, so still 0-0. Later on, we get a chance with Challenger. If he can't score himself, perhaps he can get an assist in his final game. The cross is good despite being on the worst tile, but Binns lets him down with a 4. Stoke unnecessarily knocks it out of play, and Binns is able to eventually score off Delbridge's cross, but because he didn't specifically score off Challenger's cross, I yank him for being incompetent. This is Challenger's game, not yours. Well, in the end, perhaps it wasn't the greatest individual performance from our outgoing player, but we do manage to see off a couple of semi-dangerous headers at the end and win the game. And as I said before, victory is what really matters. So, 1-0 win, Challenger can ride off into the sunset on a high. And we're doing really well in the league so far. We're actually in European spots. I wouldn't mind finishing in this range so we can have a crack at the EFA Cup before I take on the main competition. 66 goals, including 2 this season. He was never a lights-out scorer, but he could always be relied on to contribute a few goals per season, and even the occasional tackle and assist if the stars aligned.